Excellent.
No problem.
Okay. Now for your challenge, show me how you caught them.
All right. We'll start off as I started in the match, really. That's my big pot. I actually put, let me see if there, half a pot of bait in.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to go and overdo it at the start. I just wanted to make sure I had some gear there while I was fishing the feeder. So 11 metres. Got myself lined up with the feature on the other side. Straight in. And then I was straight out on the feeder. The piece of punch meat on there.
Yeah.
Nothing in the feeder, just ground bait. In the day, what I want, you know, if there's any fish out there, I just want them to come straight to that little feeder, and the only bait there is my hook bait.
So what happened next?
What happened next was, straight away, I'm starting to loose feed basically on my top 4 line. And also down the edge. I'm only fishing top 5 down the edge. Yeah. So I don't really, you know, I mean, I like to, because I'm only fishing for individual fish down the edge, I do like to throw it if I can. And on the perfect day, the tip would fire around in a £10
Of course,
carp.
as we found out with Tommy Pickering yesterday, I mean, because there's a bait limit in place here, you need to do, you know, you've got to be careful how you're feeding it, haven't you? You've got to feed it steady, because there's a real danger, of course, again, that you could just run out after sort of 3 or 4 hours.
That's right, and where I've got 2 mixes there of chopped worm, and I've got me normal casters, you have to, you know, you have to make sure that you time it right, really. Yeah.
Tommy had a great day fishing with the method feeder, a method that he caught 160 odd pound on a couple of weeks back. Yeah. How come you've gone out on a cage feeder?
Thing is, Dave, on the first festival, the first spring festival, is you're not allowed to fish the method feeder.
Oh, I see.
If I was allowed, I would certainly be on the method feeder without a doubt. Yeah. Unfortunately, on the first festival, you're not allowed, so that's obviously why I'm fishing a cage feeder with a 12-inch hook length as well. That is the rules.
Well, that didn't take long, mate.
It's all right, Dave. That's how my match normally starts.
One goes downhill from that point onwards.
But this is what happened in the actual day of the race, you know. This is a quick couple of chucks on the feeder, and it did go round with a few F1s. I think that's what this is, actually, a small F1.
And the thing is with this, it's like we said earlier, you know, if you'd have gone out and nailed a £10 carp straight away.
Oh, straight away, you're in, you know.
Suddenly, at the end of the match, I mean, how many times do we look at result sheets and see how close the ending is for a tench?
Small tench.
You look at the result sheet at the end, and like, you know, £2 or £3 separates the top 3, even when it's £100 weight, really close.
Every fish counts, and you know, like I said, when I am fishing the feeder, I'm looking around as well. I'm looking around, you know, waiting for someone to go out on the pole and seeing what their response is. You know, if someone next door to me's fed it, or I think they fed it very similar to me, and they've gone out and not had a bite, and I'm thinking to myself, no, I'll give out another 15 minutes, you know. And it's all about little decisions like that that can make it, give you an edge. Well, Dave, I've had me a couple of fish on that, like I would in the match. I've seen a couple of anglers catch a few fish on the pole. I'm going to get out and see if my pole line's
let's hope
ready for action.
History repeats itself again there.
Hopefully. Let's move that out of the way. So bait-wise on the day, really, the best bait for me on the day was just a small head of worm like that. Yeah. So that was a bit of a waste, but I keep them back, obviously. For chopping later. Just fill the kieran pot up.
And did you get bites immediately? You know, when you went out, obviously you'd had those couple of fish.
I did. I had some roach. I had some roach to start off with, and then, you know, it was just about matter of, you know, it was really the whole match was just about catching whatever was in your peg. Yeah. I mean, I did change me hook bait a bit. I went from a small piece of worm to, you know, maybe half a piece of worm, just to see if there was some bigger fish. But to be honest, the bait I put on there, that chuck, was the bait to be had on the day. There you go, bite straight away then.
gone a bit quiet out there on the worm line now, mate. You've been feeding these other lines for quite some time now. What's your mindset now? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna. What I would do now, to be honest with you, Dave, it has gone a bit funny out there. I've been flicking casters at top 4 here. I'm just gonna put half a pot of bait in out there, worms with casters again, and come in on my short line.
There's a few fish swirling there.
There is. I think there's some running roach there, so I'm just fishing my little shallow rig there. Single caster.
Did you bury that?
No.
So you just took it.
To be honest, Dave. To be honest, like I said before, unless it's absolutely rubbish, burying it really is not an option. It's, you know, it's all about catching lots of fish.
There's a lot of fish swirling there now, Des.
There is some fish there, Dave. There we go. And this is the difference in some of the festivals I fish that can make the difference between, you know, winning your section and losing your section.
The thing is, you can be sitting out for carp when you can put together, you know, fish of that size.
Exactly. I mean, what's that? 6 ounces?
Yeah. And of course, they have a festival here later in the year dedicated just for silvers. That's right. There's some cracking ones.
Yeah, in November, you know, when the conditions are cold and that, they're still catching 40 to 50 pound of silvers. And you just can't ignore them. There's lots and lots of people that ignore them. But to me, I've won festivals because of this, you know.
It's been a cracking session again, Des.
Yeah, absolutely lovely day. Proper day's fishing.
How was today's fishing compared to the match?
Very similar, really. Not so many skimmers, but you know what I wanted to aim to catch out there, I've caught again today, which was the quality tench, which is the.
And I think what's been dramatic as well is just how many silverfish are on there.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, a month ago it wasn't quite as shallow fishing as that. Yeah. But there was a lot of fish, maybe 2 to 2.5 feet deep. But I probably caught 15 pound of my fish doing that. Yeah.
And I think what today's session has shown is just the power of worm and caster.
Exactly.
Worm out there and caster in there as well. It's been great. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what you caught. It's been a cracking day, mate.
Oh, absolutely brilliant, Dave. Brilliant day. As you can see from that, proper day's fishing.
There's a few pound in there, isn't there?
Probably 50 pound over the full.
Excellent.
In a few hours.
Brilliant. Let's get them back.
Everyone's a swimmer.
Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Cheers, Dave.
Oh, what another fantastic session day 2 has been. What have we learnt from it? Well, I've learnt that you can't put all your eggs in one basket on this sort of fishing. Worm was definitely the bait to pick out the better tench, but the way he's been catching these roach and rudd, it's so quick you just can't ignore them. So it's a case of you think about your 5 hours, use it, keep feeding your swims, keep feeding your lines, and that's the way to get the best weights, and that's why he wins so much here. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow now. I'll be here for another session with Steve Saunders, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'll see you then.